Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing great. So for today's video, we are going to discuss class 10 English poem for Anne Gregory. So without further ado, let's start with the summary of the poem. Anne Gregory poem highlights that beauty is just a temporary thing. Even today, when beauty can be artificially created by using makeup products and all, still beauty is a way to judge people. Is it necessary that if a person is beautiful by looks would also be beautiful by heart? Are all the ugly people on this earth bad? No matter what, beauty has been made a measure of a good human beings. Such a mindset is so toxic, but it's widespread today. This following poem is about genuine love. The poem is a conversation between the poet and a beautiful girl named Anne Gregory. The poem is a piece of romantic poetry which expresses ideas about modern love. In the first stanza, the poet tells the lady that any young man would be attracted to her due to her physical appearance and would be sad when rejected. He states that this doesn't mean that the man holds true love for Anne in his heart. The poet goes on to describe her beauty and says that she has such beautiful golden hair that anyone will fall in love with her. They fall on her ears and seem like protecting them in the similar way as a boundary wall protects the fort. Her hair symbolizes the outer beauty that prevents anyone from looking inside her soul. Any man gets easily attracted to her and does not look Anne's character and real nature beyond the beauty. Here, the poet is pointing out that the existential reality of modern human life is that people love each other not for inner beauty but for outer appearance. We get mesmerized by the outer beauty and ignore the inner one. The poet further describes Anne's physical feature. In the second stanza, Anne Gregory replies and explains that she doesn't want someone who would fancy her only because of her outer beauty. She desired someone who would genuinely like her because of her good heart. Consequently, she offers a solution to this situation. Anne says to the poet that she can change her hair color. She can get a hair dye and color her hair as brown, black, and carrot color. She means that the outer beauty is temporary, it can change at any time. So the men who love her will see her actual nature behind the beauty. She hopes that the man who falls in love with her will love her for what she is and not for her hair and external beauty. In the third and the last stanza of the poem, the poet tells the lady that no human but only God loves you for your inner self. He says that a religious man has told him that this with written proof. It's only God who accepts us for who we really are. For God, physical appearance doesn't matter at all. Therefore, she will be truly only loved by God for her inner beauty and not for the outer one. So, this was all about the summary of this poem, and now let's discuss the poetic devices. First poetic device is metaphor. A metaphor is a literary device used to represent a comparison without using the words. In this poem, the phrase honey colored ramparts is an example of a metaphor. Yeats, through the metaphor, compares Anne Gregory's hair to the walls of a fort. Then the next poetic device is alliteration, and the example for this is love you for yourself alone. Another example could be the phrase your yellow hair is an example, and brown or black is also an example of alliteration. Here, the repetitive word or a letter is an example of alliteration. Then another poetic device is repetition. The phrase yellow hair has been repeated many times. By repeating this phrase, the poet is reinforcing the notion of external beauty. Then the fourth poetic device is anaphora. Anaphora means repeating a word or phrase at the beginning of sentences or clauses that follow each other and done for emphasis. In the third stanza, the second and the third line, that he had found a text to prove that only God, my dear, is an example of anaphora because that word is repetitive in both the lines. Another poetic device is enjambment. Enjambment means lines in a stanza ending, going, or continuing without any punctuation. In the second stanza, the fourth and fifth line is continuous. That young man in despair might love me for myself alone. In the third stanza, first, second, and the third line is also continuous. I heard an old religious man, but yesternight declare that he had found a text to prove. So, this was all about this poem. I hope you got to learn something, and if you did, please press the like button. Also, do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you.